I'm right here in my living room, and we are also joined with this beautiful maple tree that is easily close to 150, 200 years old. And on my property, there are a lot of really beautiful trees, and this one is one that I refer to as the grandmother. There's some really beautiful energy that she brings to the property. And this connection with nature and our inner nature, our inner wildness, is part of the divine feminine, which is woven through the course. Hi, Sarah Jane. Thank you for showing up. So, the Wise Women Awakening course really is a course of empowerment and healing, and it is an opportunity for women at their own pace, in their own time, to have a dedicated time. Hi, thanks for joining. To have dedicated time for your own spiritual life, and if that's something that's new for you, this is an opportunity to safely and easily, in a guided way, start to support that and navigate that and open it up. So it's an opportunity to have time for spiritual, sacred time in a consistent way. Even though you get to choose how you bring it into your life, there's that constant invitation for you to put energy in that space and that inner space. So that's one piece of it. Another piece, hi Meg. Another piece is being able to then actually do some healing work when you're in that safe, sacred space that you start to cultivate for yourself. And that inner work is looking at your belief systems and your mindset and how you're carrying and holding energy in your body, and how to deepen your awareness of your intuition and your intuitive knowing, and how to trust that. And from that place, you're going to transform some unhelpful beliefs that you have, because we can't change what we don't know that we're carrying or that we're having. Yeah, I'm excited too. Thank you. There's some comments coming in. I'm super excited as well for this course. It's something like creating it. I was like doing it myself, and it's something like I'm just so excited for women to explore. So thank you. Yeah, so we can't really work with our own wounds and our own patterns, the ones that we want to change, if we don't have time and space to look at them and feel safe doing that, and feel like we have tools and practices that can help us with that. So there's a very practical side of this course, in the sense that I've created a structure so that you have invitations to do some journaling, and then from that having action steps, and from that having creating, hi Kelly, having an opportunity to create affirmations that you can really then work with your mindset, but then bring that into the body as well to work with. So there are somatic based practices in the videos so that you can work with the body, the mind, and your divine feminine heart and soul. So that this course is a very much more of a feminine structure. So it does have a structure, but I've designed it specifically so it can be fluid for you. So what I mean by that is that there are 13 modules that is on purpose, connecting to the 13 lunar cycles to reconnect us and reclaim these aspects of the feminine that have been taken away from us or disempowered. Or so the number 13 itself has always had a negative and dark connotation and be unlucky, when it is actually richly connected energetically to the power of creativity and wildness and love and tenderness of the feminine and the moon cycles, and how we ebb and flow in our bodies and our emotions with the moons. So that was one of my first intentions, is this is going to be 13 modules. So the flow of it is that there's themes throughout the whole thing. So you can move through it if that's your jam, going through one module at a time and dedicating this particular month for this module, and then the next month and the next month. great. If that's your thing, do that. But for others, it may be like there's something that's specifically going on for you right now that's bringing up a lot of guilt. So you might go, okay, which of these modules helps me work with the theme of guilt? And you're going to do that one. And then maybe you're going to work with that for a few weeks or a month, a few days, because the practices and the exercises are going to help shift the way you're even thinking about life, the perspective you take on how you inquire about what's going on for you. And the practices are there to use in your life forever, in any point in time. So once you become familiar with them, they're there, they're part of you then. So you can, it's not just something to tick off the box from the module. I wanted things that are going to serve you forever. So you can weave in and out of the course based on what it is that you're feeling at the time, or if you're knowing, I really need to dedicate time to my own growth, to my own healing, to my spiritual self, my intuition needs more nurturement, then you're going to set yourself up and do it regularly and consistently, and all the structure is there within it. So that's the fluidity. And within the course, because I said I was going to talk specifically about the chakras on this live, and I will, I just want to mention one more thing. I also wanted this course to be set up so that it was easier for you to do your own work, to dive in and meet yourself wherever you are, so that you have a structure and you have links and resources and invitations and things are sort of laid out for you, and you have the videos and you have the audios. So we're dealing with a lot. We've always been, but now more than ever, there's so much changing, so much dismantling of the old ways. Lots of people are sort of spinning and spiraling on who they are and how they want to be, and feeling things changing within them and not having a space to necessarily process it or process it regularly. So I wanted things to be there for you so it's easier to step into that space. You still have to show up for yourself and do the things, but that once you get in a rhythm with it, there will be also a consistent rhythm that you can rely on. And even within that, there's going to be freedom and choices and options. So this course is also for people who are very new to their self-inquiry, their healing process, and exploring things like concepts of the divine feminine. What is goddess energy? What is goddess spirituality? What is the chakra system? You know, that sort of thing. Hi, welcome. So that it's there to serve those that are very new, but it's also for you out there who are seasoned spiritual seekers, in the sense that it is framed so that you can take the practices and listen to the music, do the visualizations, and take it to the level you already are and take it beyond that. So for someone who's very new, you know, reading the exercise and doing the journaling work, that may be like quite enough, and you're going to work with that for an entire week or two. That even asking yourself those questions feels a little bit, whoa, I haven't allowed myself to go there, so the emotions will come up and you need time and space to process that. For others of you who are maybe more, hi Natasha, for those of you who are maybe more open or expanded in your spiritual practices, you might say, okay, I'm going to take this whole next weekend for these 3 modules, and I'm going to do a mini retreat for myself. And you've got everything you need there. You have the videos, the audios, and the course is also so that you can sit at your laptop or whatever and do the exercises that are written, the journaling exercises on there, but everything is in PDF form. So you can download it, you can print it, you can take it with you, and then you can follow some of the invitations for the ritual practice. You can do that outside. You could do it in your cottage that weekend. So this is why the feminine way is to allow that creative, intuitive sense of what it is you want and how you want to explore. So I wanted to encourage that, as well as having a structure so that people feel like you've got a place to launch from. You've got practices and actual things to guide you, because it is also really overwhelming sometimes to know where to start or to feel like you've got the energy to get going. So I want to encourage you to really understand that you could take a whole year to do this and explore it, and if that's what feels like you can manage. And for others, it's just going to be like you're going to eat it up, and then those modules are that you can keep coming back to, because our patterning and our mindset and our bodies and our energy system is something that has been there for a long time, and we've nurtured that unconsciously. So when we start working with our own healing and our own awareness and changing and empowering ourselves, we need to keep coming back to those new ways of thinking about things and new ways of feeling and sensing and knowing things. And in essence, they're truly not new. There are ways that we never got to nurture or that we hid or in that essence, but it feels new. And we haven't been taught in our lives, most of us, that that's a really important part of who you are and how to navigate your life, to choose from here and use the mind and the power center to be an ally for what your heart is calling for in your life. And so the feminine energy comes through it in that there's links to the goddesses. So if you're really curious about a specific goddess, there's already links there, so you can go and read a little bit more, because sometimes that next step of going, okay, you've drawn a card and it's Maeve, the Celtic goddess, and the next step is then you've got to do your Google search. You're gonna be like, I've got to get dinner, or I've got to, that can happen. So the link is there, but you just go to the link. So another beautiful part of this is that I wanted it to also embody the feminine in the sense of music, feeling, somatics. So the archetype part of the exercises in the modules is something I'm going to talk about a little more next week, because I'm going to do a Facebook Live that's a little more specific about the archetypes. But I wanted there to be an aspect of also resting, allowing time, allowing yourself to feel what you've been thinking about or processing mentally. So there's a Spotify list that links the songs for each module that connect us to some of the old ancient goddess energy and helps us to reconnect to this collective, because the feminine is about being together and being connected, and to use our inner resources as well as our outer resources. And so one day, as you're part of the course, you just might decide you just want to listen to the music. You know what the intention of the module is, and you just need to rest. So you're going to put that on, because that's going to help you go into that space. So I'm going to speak to the chakras now, because the music is also themed to the themes of the modules. So the modules, the core modules, that is 6 to 12, follow through the chakra system. And so our chakras, for those of you who are unfamiliar, hi Paula, are the primary processing centers in the energy system. They align along the spine. So there's foundational information about those. There's foundational information about the archetypes and the divine feminine in the course too. So you have some background information. But what I wanted was to have, again, this flow, and each of the chakras is associated with physical parts of the body and also psycho-emotional states. So the themes of the modules related to the chakras will have an invitation for you to tune in to the inner wise woman, some aspect of the inner wise woman related to what the primary challenge and gifts are of that chakra. So for the root chakra, for example, in the course, we're working with fear, and we're working with victim archetype. And we're looking at how can we transform that and come into more of the mother archetype. because the root chakra is very connected to the earth and the earth mother, and this sense of feeling safe and trusting and connected to our physical body and things like that. So each theme, each chakra is associated with a module, and so that theme flows through also the music and the body-based practices that I am offering for you to do. So we're going to support, it's really important that we don't only just focus on the mental processing, but the emotional and physiological and physical processing of energy and shifts when we're empowering ourselves and when we're changing things or when we're tuning into our intuition. So each module also has a practice that helps you do that, to release some energy or to build some energy or to just feel it in the body, to nurture some aspect of the energy system. So that's in there too. So just thinking what else I would like to share with you. I don't know if anyone has any questions. Thank you all for showing up. I know it's like mid-morning. It's not the most ideal time. And there's something funky going on with my camera. So it's doing this autofocus thing. So I'll fix that for the next time. But I just have to say, I don't know if you can see, but all this light streaming through. Oh, so nice. Just feel that glow of connection, because I feel so excited to support you in the course. Thanks, Jackie. Yeah. So the aspect, so just as a sneak peek, if you've gone and looked at the course outline, you'll see that I've themed the modules as well. Once we get into the chakra based sort of modules, they are embodiments of archetypes of the inner wise woman that I've created. So you're going to have the earth mother, and then the inner maiden, and the inner warrioress, the inner sacred leader. So it's like, how do we explore these? So the archetypes, like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about next week and give some examples. But archetypes are a really rich way. The light is beautiful. The archetypes are a really rich way to help us work with our subconscious and bringing things to the conscious. So it's like, so for instance, the inner maiden, that's this young, youthful, innocent aspect of our wise woman that we carry with us all the time. And so we explore, some deeper questions from that perspective. So we embody that archetype. And so archetypes really became popular with Jungian psychology as a way to bridge the subconscious and the conscious state. Because again, like I said at the beginning of this video or this live, that we can't really shift what we don't know that we're carrying. And it is like peeling an onion, and the healing path is a spiral. So we're going to get insight on something and go, oh, wow, that's where that comes from. And then take the divine feminine energy in and give it understanding and love and compassion and fire and action to change it, and intention and effort to change it. Then again, your life will carry on, and then, oh, you might meet it again in just a slightly different way because you're still working with it. And then you have a framework, even how to adjust how you question things within yourself and your life, and work with yourself, because that's really all we can work with, is this part in the inner feminine aspect of yourself, and the masculine too, but to bring in that understanding, then you can take it outward into what's going on in the circumstance. But I wanted the course to have that capacity to help you, not just help you in the moment with the issue, but help you shift how you do self-inquiry. So it's expanded and more available, and then have these practices and tools to support you when you meet that inner maiden again, when she's struggling somewhere, that you can go in and help her. Right? So those are the sort of key aspects through the course, is having these themes that we can come back to. And the divine feminine is working in this creative, fluid way and really going with what's active at the moment with you. And and being curious. And it's also something that I feel, the divine feminine is rising on the planet. Hi, Jill. Oh my gosh, so nice to see you. And Tanya, nice to see you too. Well, I'm seeing you in your etheric form through the live. Thank you so much. I was just sharing about the structure of the course and my intention to really have it bathed in the divine feminine energy and the goddess energy, which is full of allowing and creative exploration and tapping into our resourcefulness and having support. So not having to feel like we have to do it all on our own. So the course is designed, just to recap a little bit, so that you have exercises and practices and tools that are all themed in a structure that you can choose one at a time, or you can go through in a more linear way, and that you can choose to do just maybe the journaling part for 1 week and then expand it into, as you've had time to process that, into doing the affirmation and the ritual work. And maybe you're going to really be drawn to the oracle part of it and practicing tuning into your intuition that way. And so that's going to be a part you're going to do every day, but you're maybe going to do the journaling once on a weekend where you have more dedicated time. So you get to adjust it according to what you have time for, what you're feeling the need for, because each of the modules also has a theme that's connected to an emotion that we maybe are dealing with, or a mental or psychological challenge we might be struggling with. So the primary ones through the course are fear and guilt and feeling disempowered and passive, feeling like we are not able to express and communicate ourselves maybe as well, and our true essence as well, feeling disconnected from something bigger and wanting to feel like you have more sacredness to your life, to just not feel like you're just on the wheel of life that's just going through all the mechanics of living and being in relationships and roles, that this is really a rich opportunity to go into exploring the goddess energy and divine feminine energy, and that is ever present, and that connects us to this deep inner wisdom and intuitiveness that you already have, but we've never really been taught and nurtured, not most of us, in our early lives as young girls and women. Everything has been so mental based. And so this course is really about working with the mind, the body, so somatically feeling, and intuition is so connected to the body, so connected to our senses. So opportunity to work with that, to strengthen it, to explore it, to figure out how you feel, like what your intuition, how it communicates with you, how you feel certain emotions in the body. And then those are going to be your signposts. Like, oh, when I start to feel that in my stomach, that means, something doesn't feel right. Like, we'll know that, but we'll start to pay attention to it and actually go, wait, hang on. I'm going to attend to this because this feels important, instead of pushing it down or diminishing it in some way, which a lot of us have done over the years, myself included. And so the feminine way is to lean into that and allow space for it. And a big part of this course is that you choose to lean in and do the journaling and ask the questions and reflect and do the practices, so that you intentionally poke the bear a little bit of your own stuff, that you're choosing to do that life just isn't triggering it in you, that you're saying, I love myself enough. I know there's capacity for me to feel better about X, Y, Z in my life, and feel more empowered, or feel more at peace, or to feel more loving and accepting. I know that's there, but I've got to be willing to show up. And it's so much more empowering If we choose to go there, then get triggered by a situation or a person, because that's really unsettling most of the time. And I'm not going to say that we don't get unsettled when we intentionally go in, because of course we do. If we're transforming something that's had a heavier energy, it's gonna not feel good sometimes. But there's something really different, and that's like the goddess who's looking at a situation that she may not be able to change. It's like the Earth Mother, seeing what's happening to her because of human practice, human life, and yet she's still there for us, and she's still there. Makes me emotional. She's still there for us, and she's still showing up in whatever way she can. So this course is designed in a way that will help us do that for ourselves. Makes me really emotional. A lot of heart-based feminine intention is woven through this course every step of the way. And so that piece about choosing to do it and look at it, it's so empowering in a different way. And then we have greater capacity when we are getting triggered with something to know what it is. We may not be able to change it immediately, but we'll know where it is and where it's coming from. We can have more compassion, and we can also take responsibility for it, which allows us to change it. So so throughout the modules, there's invitations for action steps. There's fun stuff too, like listening to the music, exploring the different goddesses that are connected to the different themes, so that you can maybe open up spiritually a little bit and go, you know what, I'm going to sit and meditate, and I'm going to invite in the goddess Serdwin. I'm going to invite her in, because you've been, as part of the module, maybe you went and looked up that link and you're like, oh my gosh, her energy, her symbolic energy is so what I need right now. I need that support. So I'm going to sit and I'm going to call her in, or I'm going to embody her. So we get to have this exploration and I want to say in a wilder way, because we've been taught everything has to be so contained and practical and logical, and when we start to open up our spirituality and define what that means for us, it is that we're going to use our imagination. We're going to tap into energies and frequencies and thoughts and perceptions that are bigger than we did before. And so this sense of being connected to a greater sisterhood of energy, to spirit, to the universe, to source, to the goddesses, can be really fun. And it might be in your nature to be more serious about that, and that's fine, you can be. But you can also take a lighter path with it, and it's same with the oracle cards and things. Like, again, it can be as light as you wish it to be. So the capacity though to be deep for you is there. So I've designed it that way. So it can be very ritualistic and ceremonial for you. If that's your vibe and that's your jam, that's what floats your boat, it's there for you. If all the woo-woo juju stuff is not, then you don't have to do that part. And even if you do the journaling and you take the practice of working with your mindset and do some of the body stuff to help you realize, oh my gosh, I do feel different after doing this. Or I do feel different in that conversation because I did this practice before I went into that conversation, then that's going to serve you. And maybe you've been closetedly or secretly wanting to do more of that woo-woo juju stuff, but you felt nervous or you're shy and you didn't know where to start. And you didn't want to go to something that's live in person because you just really didn't feel ready to be in a space to show that part of yourself yet. So then this course also offers you this opportunity to do it in the privacy of your own space, or to take time away from your family or your obligations and go somewhere else, like I said, and go on a little retreat for yourself, even if it's just a night or a few hours at your family's camp or your uncle's cabin or whatever. So it's there for those of you who've like always wanted to open up this part of yourself more and feel safe in doing that. Feel supported in doing that. Hi, Lou. Oh, wow. Nice to see you come in to the live. So yeah, just want to be conscious of time. I'm just have a little sip of my tea. For those of you who are staying with me, I may be repeating myself, but yeah, the course, again, because of the current circumstance, and really, if I'm honest, the last year or two, Spirit has been saying to me to do more online offerings, so that because my one-to-one work has grown so much, I feel that I wasn't able to reach women and as many women as I would like. So this is a great way to do that. And then the other really beautiful thing is, as you navigate this course, you can, like I said, weave in and out and do a module based on the theme, a module based on what you have time for, because you might look and say, oh, well, the video is for that's 15 minutes, and I really know that I've probably only got a half an hour, and I really would like to do the whole module, so I'm going to wait till I can, or, you know, so you can pick and choose that way, but based on the theme. But you can also, it can be like, okay, I know I've got a week off, and I'm going to look through the curriculum, and I'm going to pick these 3. These are really big for me right now. I'm still dealing with a lot of unforgiveness, and I can't seem to shift that. So that's where I'm going to focus. So you can do that whole linear thing, and you can also weave in and out. And even when you do, or if you chose to go through the course in a linear way, you still have lots of choice in the modules, because each module has at least 3 practices, if not 4. So you'll have a journaling exercise, there's an audio or a video, there's the oracle play, the divination practice, and then working with your affirmations. And so the bigger intention is that this course will serve you at the time when you're doing the exercises, and also to serve you for the rest of your life, and in the rest of your days, because you can use any of those practices every day as a touch point to keep you connected to your inner wise woman, keep you connected to your feeling state, your sense energy in the body, your intuition, to help you keep your focus and your energy going to what it is you deeply desire, which could be that, okay, I'm still not loving my body, or I'm still having a hard time accepting this thing that happened in my life. And so if we don't give it attention and give it the right kind of attention, and by that I mean loving acceptance and the capacity of trust to know that it's possible for it to change, in a way that the change might be that you just end up fully accepting that you can't change someone else or their behavior or their perception of you or whatever, but that you can change the state of peace you have about it, or how much you can forgive yourself around something. And then, so that intention, where you put your intention, your attention, and your energy could be, needs to be on the things that you want. That's the same as showing up for ourselves. We can't say, I've got this problem, or I've got this challenge, and just saying it and saying that, and then we just think, if I just put that out there, it's just going to automatically change. Doesn't usually work that way. And with the state of the world right now, we need so much more to trust ourselves. We need so much more to trust that the way we see something is it equally valuable as how someone else might see it. And the divine feminine energy and the goddess energy is coming from a place of non-judgment. It's like, I can respect that you may have a polar opposite view of the situation, and respect that you have the right to think that way or feel that way, and I have a right to feel and think the way I do, and not feel like you have to convince the other person, or you shift yourself to meet that. So all kinds of things come up right now because we're having so many systems, so many social constructs changing. And we're being invited as women to be the leaders of ourselves and the leaders in our families and our communities in a different way than it's not about being everything and wearing all the hats and managing everything, being the working mom and the partner and the whatever, like all of this at the same time. It is different than that. It is about coming from a deeply intuitive, loving, cooperative strength to help people feel more connected and that they belong. And that starts with you. Because what has happened through the patriarchy and through the collective changes that we're seeing now is that it was all about separation, so fear-based. And so, you know, we are changing the world just by working with ourselves. And women have a great capacity to be a very emotional being and also extremely clever and intelligent and resourceful, and also have the right to not step into those roles when it doesn't serve you in the moment to do it. And so, for instance, that would be the archetype of the martyr. Just, I'm going to go there because people need me, and no matter that I'm exhausted or that I actually don't have the energy, but I'm going to take and have 5 cups of coffee and I'm going to show up anyway. So that would be, if we were working in a module with the martyr archetype, that's what we would be working with, shifting that piece of it. So archetypes I'm going to talk a little bit more about next Tuesday night. I'm going to do a Facebook Live. So the journaling, most of the journaling exercises, as I said, like they have a theme that's based on the chakras. Each theme, there's an emotional theme, and then there's a body-based practice, and we explore the archetypes because it's just a really good way to help us get our minds around patterns and feelings and things we might have that are sort of hidden in our psyche. So I think that's probably good for now. And if you have any specific questions about the content, because you can go in and get just a little peek of the general curriculum. If you have any questions after you look at that, send me an email or send me a DM or what have you, and I'm happy to answer. Just a reminder that, so the pre-sale, which goes up till next Wednesday, so it finishes on the 16th, offers the bonus that is going to be beautiful. I'm going to run a Wise Woman Awakening circle and ceremony next Thursday night on the new moon to officially launch the birth of the course, it actually being live. And so if you do purchase between now and Wednesday, and really the sooner the better, if you're kind of like, yeah, I really want to, but you know, there's some hesitation, get in touch with me about your hesitations. We'll talk about that in the next Facebook Live too, but get in touch with me because I'm going to send out, and it'd be nice if you got it before Wednesday, an email that will say what you need for the ceremony. It won't be anything like that you wouldn't have at home. Okay, but you're going to want to have a list, and it's just an hour from 6 to 7 next Thursday night on the new moon, which is beautiful to launch with that new energy of the new moon. So that ceremony that's the bonus, to come in and be part of that. And we're going to work with things in a similar way as you might be able to in the course, or that you are able to in the course. And to join together in a circle, virtual circle like that, is equally as powerful as when we join live, because I've run several of them now, or many of them now, and they're beautiful. So that's that. Now, I wanted to give people a little more time for the intro price. So you have it's a little over a month actually for that intro price. But then on the new moon in October, then the course will go to its regular price. So you've got 13 modules to work with. Within that, there's 70 lessons, which might sound like, oh my God, but there's repetition in there, and there are PDFs that you'll read, and especially the original or the initial foundational PDFs. Like you'll read those a few times, but then once you start working with the material, you won't necessarily need to go back to those. And it's lifetime. You can have this forever, and I've already have inspiration on things I'm going to add to it, and so with your lifetime access to it, you'll get those new additions for free. Okay, thanks everybody for showing up. Have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Fire me off any questions you have. Big love. Hope to see you in the Seven Feathers Healing School and go on the journey with us. Bye.